Hi everyone. Well, we're here at home, and G spent the morning digging out our RV. Still has an ice berm there, but we're getting closer and closer, and we're kind of on countdown mode big time. So I've been feverishly trying to prep projects and figure out what I want to take, what I don't want to take, and in between doing all of that, I've been working on my goals list. So I did take some breaks and have some good time. I feel like I have to stuff all of my girlfriend's stitching time in before I leave, because I'm going to miss everybody, and isn't that what quilting is about, is the camaraderie and the support, not only about quilting, but about life in general. So I have been having some fun in between getting ready. And in the process of that, I have picked up a few tips that I'm going to pass on to you. So just like I've always thought of myself as a smorgasbord quilter. That means I am a master of none, but I try it all. And I love it all. There's pretty much nothing I don't get excited about when it has the word quilting or stitching in it. So you won't find me being one of those purist modern quilter, traditional quilter, Civil War quilter, primitive quilter. Well, I just kind of am like a lab puppy that sees something over there to go chase and wants to participate. It's kind of like my girlfriend Sandy up in BC. She says she's like a crow with a shiny piece of object that she spots and then has to go over and see what it is. And so I'm doing it all. And now I'm passing on some tips. So last week I had an opportunity at So Many Quilts. They had a mystery stitch day, and you just paid $25. They fed you enough sugar to keep you motivated and high, and they gave you the supplies and a pattern, and you spent 3 hours stitching away with a group of women. So this is what that project was. It was a little Valentine's pillow. Absolutely adorable. And the great thing about this is I always love these types of events, because I end up picking up a tip or two that I didn't know before. And on this particular case, I learned the Colonial knot stitch, which I will show you in a moment. And then there was this really cool thing that Marianne, who was the moderator of the day, showed. And so I'm going to do it here for you right now. So here's the front of my pillow. Here's the back of my pillow. Now, this totally freaked me out, but this is what she does. So I'm going to cut a hole in the back of my pillow. I'm going to just cut a hole right in the off-centered in that pillow. Just like that. So now I have a hole in the middle of my back. Then I'm going to layer that back onto that front, and I'm going to stitch the pillow all the way closed. So here I go. Now, I've never done this, so we're going to see if this works live. This is live quilting. Okay, so here's my pillow, my pillow that looks kind of funky because it's sewn inside out. And I'm just cutting the little tips because that's what I tend to do, is to just make less bulk. And now, supposedly, I can turn the pillow inside out through this hole. So let's see if I can do this. I feel like I should have some scary music, like dun 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 dun. Is it gonna happen? Is she gonna be able to make it happen? I worked out this morning in the pool, so I really think I should be able to do this. And so let's see. It's coming. It's oh boy. I feel like I'm giving birth to a pillow here. Here it comes. I never thought I would cut a hole in the back of my pillow. But this I thought was really a clever idea. Another way to stuff a pillow. Here it comes. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Now I'm going to, there's my pillow. So now I got my little chopstick, and I'm going to kind of poke out those corners and the sides to make it actually look like a square pillow instead of a odd geometrical shape. And I'm doing this through this hole in the back of my pillow. Marianne, I'm trusting you. Okay, so now I have this great little pillow that, you know, is nicely made, and now I'm going to stuff it through there. So I'm going to stuff it through the hole. Feeding my pillow. And this is just an alternative way to stuff your pillow. Scary looking though, with a hole in the middle of the back, huh? Well, I think it needs just a little bit more. So then I kind of have my pillow stuffed, but I have this unsightly hole there. But guess what? In this particular case, we cut out this little red heart, but it could be any shape. And so we have this piece here, and I'm going to embroider maybe the year, the date, or be mine. And then I'm going to fuse that over the hole and stitch it down. And then it'll look just like that. Isn't that the cleverest thing? I love new things. So this was a perfect class for that. Plus the Colonial knots. Next, Colonial knots. Now we go on to tip number 2. For those people who do Sashiko, I'm going to give you this great tip about your thread. So Sashiko thread is Egyptian cotton. It's a little fuzzier, a little thicker, and it comes in packages like this. And you want to keep it from tangling up as you're using it. And so this tip I got from a gal I took a class from, not from, but with, down in California. So we were in Sylvia Pippin's class, and she gave us this great tip. So the thread, I keep saying sew a lot, don't I? But that's because I'm a quilter. Anyway, you find your thread like this. It comes in like, kind of like yarn might come. I'm not a knitter, but yarn might come like this. And it has a little knot that ties off the end. And you're going to grab that little knot and you're going to cut it off. So that now your thread is loose and free. Now, this is kind of scary. We're going to cut this in half. We're going to cut it in half there, and then we're going to flip it over this way and cut it in half there. So now your thread is basically all the same length. But how to use this thread without this turning into a ball is you get your significant other, husband. It can't be your dog because they don't have opposable thumbs, but you have them hold one end of this. And before you do that, you're going to tie off that end. So I'm going to take a piece of thread, cut it, and I'm going to tie this off by knotting it. So it's like you've made a little pigtail or a ponytail. So you have it like this. Then you get your husband or significant other or whoever has opposable thumbs to hold that end of it while you braid this. And when you braid it, it's going to look like this. Nice little braid. And what that does is when you need a thread, you just grab one thread and you hold where you tied it off from the braid and you pull it up, and this doesn't get tangled, and you've got your thread. I love that. I don't end up with a big old ball. So once I pull the thread out, I'm going to do my thread my needle, and we're going to do a colonial knot. I wish I could do this backwards. Maybe I can. So, colonial knot. I kind of was a French knot kind of girl, but I understood that the colonial knot looks better. It's just that it's a brain teaser. So at the last class that I took with Marianne, she sat down and taught it to me, and I think I have it. And it does look better. It kind of looks like those braided little frogs that you see on Chinese garments. It's kind of woven really tightly and it doesn't fall over. So the first thing you're going to do is bring your needle up with your thread. And then you're going to make a backwards C. And you're going to put your needle there. So it's going to go over the bottom of the C and under the top of the C on the backward C. Is that backwards? Yes. Backwards. And then depending on how big you want your knot, you're going to bring this over the top. So I've got my needle there. I can't do it quite backwards. And I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it twice. And then I'm going to put that down in there. Let's see if this works. I'm going to put it right. It's so hard to do it backwards, but I'm going to go down in the hole just like you do with the French knot. And we'll do it a couple times. And then I'm going to pull the needle through while I'm holding that knot. And there it is. I'm not sure that, oh yeah, that's it. It's just a little bit on the big side because I wrapped it twice. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to come up. I'm going to make a backward C. I'm going to go over the top of the bottom of the C and under the top of the C. And I'm going to pull it. And then depending on how big I want that, I'm going to wrap it twice. And then I'm going to go down in that same hole. I've kind of missed the same hole because I'm upside down. Let me try it again here. I'm going to come up. I'm going to make a backward C. I'm going to go over the top and underneath. I'm going to pull that thread. And then I'm going to wrap my needle twice because that's the size of the knot that I want. It's a little bit cumbersome because I'm trying to get you to see that. And then I'm going to go down in the same hole I came up in. So the big thing about this is that backward C. And then it weaves itself into the knot rather than make that little outy belly button like a French knot does. And I kind of like the way it looks, but I think it's going to take a lot of practice for me. So I hope that that gets you started on it. I know it was hard to see, but I think that'll be a great knot alternative to the French knot. And I'm working on my Sylvia Pippin Coral Reef block of the month. Still have a little stitching to do in here. Next, I'll give you a quick update of my wool prepping I'm doing, and that'll be it for today. So we're moving over to the ironing board. I am bound and determined to get this buttermilk basin Give Thanks woolen project done this year. I want to have it hanging in my entryway during November, and I decided that I would prep the whole thing and take it with me on the road. I love buying kits, but I did not buy a kit for this one. This actually was a gift from Stacy, this pattern, last year when she was here. I believe that was when I got this. And so I went down with the pattern and I picked my background fabrics, and I've been doing all of the wool out of my stash. So I do feel quite smug about that, I have to say. I have 3 blocks already prepped. The Give Thanks, my little turkey, and I decided she had 1879 on her pattern, but I did a little bit of research and I chose to put 1863 because that was the year Abraham Lincoln proclaimed the first National Thanksgiving Day. So that's the date I put on there. And then this block is all prepped. So I have one last block to prep before this will be ready to take. And as you can see, I have drawn all my pieces on my SF-101. No, that is wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I've drawn all my pieces on my soft fuse. I put my SF-101 on the back of my flannel so it wouldn't stretch. And now I'm going to cut out this big pile and arrange it like a jigsaw puzzle so it'll look beautiful. I got it all fused down, and that is the last block that I needed to prep in the Give Thanks Woolen by Buttermilk Basin, and I'll be stitching this on the road. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and I hope you'll continue to follow us as we hit the road, and I'll also be on Facebook and Instagram with my progress. I hashtag these projects to, this one is a hashtag 2017 Quilt Along, and there's the hashtag 2017 UFO Quilt Challenge, and then the hashtag 2017 BOM Quilt Challenge. So I have lots of challenges on the road. See you later.